Frank Walker, ladies and gentlemen. Great job. I should say a couple more little notes about Frank. He does a bunch of charity concerts himself. There's a disease that affects young children. It's known by the odd name Prune Belly Syndrome. But it's a treatable condition that can be fatal if untreated. Word is just getting out in the medical community. Frank has a couple of concerts a year to try raise money and awareness of that. And his band basically is about as close to a group of local all-stars as you can get. His harmony vocalist, Joanna Monte, plays solo. Mike Lucci, who is drummer, is like drums with a whole bunch of different people on the island. Paul Silverman on the piano there is part of a band called the Yayas, who are just fantastic. We had Carolyn Baccarella on bongos, Andy Hunerberg, who you saw in our very first act, playing bass again, and Steve Briotti on lead guitar. Great bunch of musicians. Look from around in the area. And, well, coming up, we probably had just the largest act there. The next one we're going to have is probably the loudest. I've known the gentleman setting up right there with the flaming red hair for about a dozen years. His band sometimes shifts personnel occasionally, but they are basically, if you took Woody Guthrie and the Ramones and put them in a blender, you would have the band known as Media Crime. Eddie is a folkie, you just wouldn't know it by looking at him. Part of the folk traditions, most of the songs he wrote are about the plight of ordinary people just trying to make it in the big world up against all kinds of challenges. But of course, he ramps it up to about 15,000 watts. But tonight is a very different ensemble. New to the group is Chris Peters on keyboards there. Chris Riando on drums, and Peter... Wait, what you said. On guitar. Their experience. After this, we're going to take a 15-minute intermission. Invite you to avail yourselves of the snack bar. Check out some of the literature being put out. Check out if the Board of Elections still has that demonstrator voting booth set up there. And then we're going to come back here for the second half of the show. But to round out the first set, please welcome Eddie Havoc and Media Crime.